Hello. Uh, it is so good to be with you, whether you're seeing this in the morning, afternoon, or the evening. I wanted to thank you for watching. We usually, in the spring of the school year, begin to think about reflecting on this past year and thinking ahead to next school year. And in the past couple of years, we've hosted on campus sessions by division of our school that we call the State of the School. So instead of three individual meetings, I'm coming to you to present on behalf of the head of schools some information about the school, its past this year, and looking toward the future. So thanks for joining us on this recording. First and foremost, I want to share genuine excitement that we can begin to see the light at the end of the tunnel about our COVID restrictions. Many of our faculty and staff are already in the process of being vaccinated. And we are planning for this spring several of our tradition filled events. Things like steak dinner that will be held in the end of April over the course of 2 evenings. We're planning for prom, we're planning for graduation, and then some classroom celebrations like our first grade pet show. That will have parents and visitors on campus. We'll still be going through our checks of temperature and making sure that checklist of COVID precautions are there, but we're beginning to open up like much of the rest of the world is as well. But to dive into our content for today, I wanted to begin by talking with you a little bit about some curriculum and programming and sport highlights. First of all, earlier this year, Jackson Trotter, who is a senior at our school, was notified that he qualified as a National Merit semifinalist. And to be considered for a National Merit Scholarship is quite an honor. Semifinalists must advance to the finalist standing in the competition by meeting high academic standards, very high academic standards. It is a very small percentage of students, senior students, who qualify for this award. And just in February, just last month, Jackson was selected as a National Merit finalist from Clarksville Academy and will be awarded a Certificate of Merit. We couldn't be more proud of him and the hard work that he's put in his studies and being a high school student here at CA. Earlier this month, we also announced our Valedictorian and Salutatorians. They are the top two students in the senior class, and this year's valedictorian is just the person I mentioned before, Jackson Trotter, and salutatorian is Nikki Harnage. We're extremely proud of both of them and are excited to hear from them as the spring comes to an end and we look toward graduation ceremony. This year has also been an extremely exciting time for our athletic teams. We have had 4 seniors sign thus far to continue their athletic career at the collegiate level. And fall sports included a state golf tournament appearance by Patton Samuels. Winter sports were highlighted by state appearances by our bowling team and Leah Hayes as a bowling individual. And our wrestlers for the girls' state wrestling tournament were Anna Lynn Rackett and Madison Bryant. Varsity girls basketball won the regular season and district tournament titles. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention our middle school girls basketball team. They had a winning season and finished second in the district tournament. This is unbelievable given that it was a very strong turnaround from last season, and they were led by our returning coach, Josh Smith, who led those girls in a wonderful way. We're so very proud of all of our athletes for their dedication and hard work throughout the year. We acknowledge that it's been a difficult season for athletics given our constraints with COVID and some of our seasons like football were cut short. But whether our teams did see a postseason appearance, they certainly have represented Clarksville Academy well, and we are looking forward to our spring season as it's upon us. Every 2 years, TSSAA, which oversees, really governs athletics for the state of Tennessee, they come out with a new district and region alignment for each sport. And I just wanted to give you a heads up that our new football region now includes some new members: Columbia Academy, Donaldson Christian, Mount Juliet Christian, and Grace Christian. Some of these that we see in other sports, but now they're going to be on our football schedule. This means that we will no longer have to travel to the far west of our state to compete in football for region play. And it also allows us to have a more manageable schedule with schools who are more comparable to our size. So we're looking forward to seeing our Cougar football players take the field this fall. Also of note, our robotics team, the Cyber Cougars, won first place in the West Tennessee robotics scrimmage that was held just this past Saturday on March 6th. The Cyber Cougars, who are Jack Catalier, Cammie Johnston, Shelby Maynard, Chase McGowan, Jay Patel, and Madeline Turney, competed virtually against other robotics teams. On Saturday, 5 videos were submitted, abiding by very strict regulations during filming, and they were reviewed. They also had live interviews that they had to complete on Saturday via Zoom with 3 judges who reviewed their performances and asked questions of every one of the team members. They outscored 10 other teams from the Western Tennessee region by 70 points. So a huge congratulations to our Cyber Cougars, and thanks go out to both Joanne Eskew, who is our faculty sponsor for this team, and parent Julie Catalier. They have put in a ton of time and dedication to shepherd our Cyber Cougars through this competition. Speaking of Joanne Eskew, Joanne has also been she has helped junior Christopher Key complete, as a part of his Eagle Scout project, an outdoor learning space and campus tree identification project. We're really grateful for Christopher to think of us as the recipient of his hard work, and getting this project completed will benefit our students. So a shout out goes to Christopher for his hard work and dedication, and a congratulations to him on completing his Eagle Scout project. That is a huge accomplishment, and one that was many years in the making. I want to shift gears a little bit and talk about just some overarching topics for this broadcast. Much like our traditional school setting that we suspended last spring, we were forced to suspend standardized testing last year. This year, I wanted to let you know we're going to resume this important tool in your child's experience. As a reminder, and maybe for some of you who don't know this, we use ACT Aspire for grades 3 through 7. And this year, we're going to actually add our 8th grade to the pre-ACT assessment that we usually give to 9th through 10th grades. That's an option, and we're going to take advantage of that. This will take place, this testing process is going to take place during the last week of April. And while we are not standardized test driven, it is an important part for us to complement the assessment tools that we use within our classroom with this type of test. We also recognize this year how important it is to have the tools and vision to carry out curriculum through technology. It's one of those, and I'll borrow a phrase from Gina Goostree, the silver lining to a cloud that has come from COVID, how important it is that we're going to carry out some of our curriculum through the use of technology. And I'm pleased to let you know that we're in the process of arranging a refresh for all of our devices for the 21-22 school year. Our current plan is to roll out these devices for our returning students prior to the end of the school year, so that they will go into the summer having those new tools. For years, Clarksville Academy has been accredited through a public school association formerly known as SACS, or Southern Association of Colleges and Schools. You might hear universities talk about that organization or have in the past. That company changed name. They've changed name twice, as a matter of fact, once to Advanced Ed, and now they are named Cognia. So Clarksville Academy is in the process of joining other elite independent schools for accreditation at an even higher standard than through Cognia, and that's through the Southern Association of Independent Schools. In education, we like acronyms, so you might hear us refer to that or see that on our website as SAIS. This process of accreditation will grant us dual distinction. And so not only are we going to be accredited through Southern Association of Independent Schools, but we'll also be accredited through Cognia. And you might be asking yourself, why is this important? Well, accreditation is really that stamp of approval to institutions where our students will matriculate, whether they are in the middle of their CA experience or whether they are going to a university after graduation. Accreditation really affirms the quality and rigor of our school. And it's proof to others, those other schools where our students travel to, that we have met the highest standards in all aspects of our program. Not only our curriculum, but things like our financial side of our school, our admissions side, or our athletics. This process is also going to help us set goals for continuous improvement and excellence. And this is no different than what our college guidance process teaches our upper school students and their families. Look for colleges and universities and look at their accreditations. So you will hear more about that in the coming couple of years. You'll continue to hear about it, but it will be definitely more on things that we talk to you about, because in the next year or so, we're going to be hosting a visiting team who come in from other schools across the Southeast, top schools across our area, and are a part of the accreditation team to ensure those high qualities and standards are met. I also want to talk to you a little bit about changes that are ahead. And the first one, we communicated this change with those immediately impacted, but we wanted to share with all of you a realignment of grade levels. We're moving our fifth grade to our middle school program next year. And in planning for the upcoming school year, we're going to transition middle school classrooms to the academic building, the newest building on campus. Our fifth and sixth grade students are going to be housed on one floor, and our seventh and eighth grade will share the other. And this allows for limited travel and closer collaboration among middle school teachers, and to further care for and nurture our middle school students and their teachers. Alicia McQueen's office is going to be relocated to that same building. This is an exciting time for our middle school as we place special care and emphasis on this important age time period. I am also happy, and I know this might be old news, especially I'm hoping that you're reading your email. Sally Allen has sent out communication that we have officially hired a new school counselor. She is someone familiar to our community. Sarah Perry, who will begin her work at CA on March 25th, holds a Bachelor of Science in Social Work and her Master of Science degree in school counseling. She really has an extensive background that crosses a lot of areas in terms of counseling, from working with the Department of Children's Services, youth villages, and most recently, she's been serving as a high school counselor in the Montgomery County school system. She currently has one child in first grade, which some of you may be familiar with. Kinsley is in first grade, and Emily, her second child, will begin pre-K next fall. And we are absolutely thrilled to welcome her to our staff. Obviously, I am personally very grateful for Alicia McQueen and Denise Walker, who have filled in dual roles as heads of school and school counselors. And I know they're equally excited about Sarah's arrival. It's a really nice setup that we have our two current counselors on campus who can guide and shepherd and mentor Sarah as she makes this transition to our school. As spring approaches, it's also time for transition as we offer employment contracts to our faculty and staff. And this is a really interesting time because it's common for some employees to retire or seek employment elsewhere, but that never makes it easy to say farewell to a portion of our talented workforce. I do want to reassure you as parents that we have an incredibly thorough process to vet new members of our community. Teaching candidates go through multiple interviews as well as teaching a demonstration lesson to help us to determine the most qualified candidates to put into our classrooms. We will look forward to introducing you to those new employees over the course of the summer. We recognize, once again, speaking of COVID, that this has been an incredibly unusual year for our teachers, one that has been incredibly taxing. And not only for our teachers, also for our staff. It's just an unusual time for all of us. And I want you to know how thankful I am for the way that our teachers and our staff have handled this stressful time, not only in our school, but really in our entire nation's history. They've shown up every day. They've continued to give their best to your child. I also want to thank you and recognize that it hasn't been an easy year for you and your child. But because we chose to work together this year, we've seen great things happen. We all work together to make what we like to coin as the CA experience, something that's incredibly unique and will be something that lasts your family and certainly put an imprint on your child forever. And finally, just to sum up on behalf of our head of school and administrative team, we continue to be excited about Clarksville Academy's future. And we remain committed to carry on the strong traditions and legacy of excellence that Clarksville Academy carries. Thank you for your commitment to the same. And we know that I want you to know that we value and celebrate our partnership with you. Thanks for joining me today. And if you have any questions, please don't let our physical distance separate you from connecting with us. Give us a call. We can host individual meetings. We can, if you're not comfortable coming in, we can Zoom with you. And we look forward to seeing you back on campus as we begin to open things up. Thanks so much. Take care.